What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisor.com, bringing home the bacon. NASCAR DFS breakdown. So something a little bit different. We're going to try it. If you guys like it, let me know. We will continue it. Wanted to try something a little bit different. Really will depend on the week and if there is enough interest in this kind of video. But we are going to break down Daytona 500. Now, this video would have been out earlier, but we see that it got rained out for Sunday, so I have time to make this video. If you guys like it, leave us a like down below. If you've never been here before, we do things a little bit differently. We've never really done NASCAR videos in the past that I can remember, so we're kind of just going to look at it. We're going to look at the drivers that make sense. We're going to look at maybe their history, how they've done, and kind of my thought process in each and every driver that makes sense on this slate. So weather was a factor for the weekend. It could be a factor for Monday, but we'll definitely check that out. But before we get started, you guys know the drill if you've been here before. Like the video, be a subscriber, and leave a comment. If this video gets at least 50 likes and you have left a comment, you have a chance to win a free week of DFS content. If the video gets 100 likes, you have a chance to win a free year or a free month. 125 likes, you have a chance to win a free year. And if any of our videos ever get 150 or more likes, you leave a comment, you are a YouTube subscriber, you will have a chance to win a lifetime pass worth $500. Same thing with the NBA, what we've done before. So the other thing is, we're going to do this exactly the same way. Like the video, be a subscriber. Tell me which NASCAR driver is going to score the most amount of DraftKings fantasy points in the Daytona 500 and how many fantasy points will they score. If you get it closest without going over, we will give you a free week of DFS content. If you get and tell us you can tell us the driver who you think is going to score the most amount of fantasy points, and if you get it exactly correct, we are going to give away a yearly pass to FantasyTeamAdvisor.com. That yearly pass will include MLB, NASCAR, NBA, NFL, PGA. I've been thinking about bringing back UFC and MMA, but is that something you guys would be interested in? I have to have at least a healthy amount of interest in UFC DFS before I bring it back, because it is a lot of work to project out and do everything else, and we didn't have enough interest. So let me know down below as well. So FantasyTeamAdvisor.com is the website. We do have NASCAR. We have the NASCAR schedule, which we're going to show every single week. We're going to put the past winner there as well. It's easy to look at. We've got the Bacon Station, which is our research, and we've got the cheat sheet as well. So there's a lot of things we can look at. We're going to go over a lot in this video. I don't know how long the video will be, so we are just going to dive right in here. So if you've never played this before, it's a little bit different, especially on DraftKings. Fanduel, the pricing's a little bit easier, and there's one less driver, I believe. DraftKings, what you're looking for are dominators. So with dominators, it's exactly what it sounds like. So you want dominating drivers that are able to help us out and give you those fantasy points that you need. So we're going to go over everything here. We're going to look at them. And we're going to try to build a lineup. So if you guys like this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you have not already. So basically, we can go down the list here, give you the news and notes and anything that we feel confident about, and let's get going. So first driver here, Denny Hamlin. He's the most expensive here. He's $10,000. You can look at here. You can see how he's done in the past, fantasy points wise, Xfinity 500, and so there are three different racing that you will see on DraftKings. You got NASCAR, the Cup Series, you've got the Xfinity Series, and you've got the Truck Series. We are going to focus on just the Cup Series. We're not going to look at the other ones right now. If there's more interest later on, we will definitely look at that. So this does take into account different drivers, the different cars, the makes and models and stuff like that. So and if you've never played DFS before for NASCAR, this is the World Series. This is the All-Star Game. This is the Super Bowl. It starts off right off the bat, and then it just continues. The races are in two stages. The teams that make the most sense. So team overall is made up of X amount of drivers. So looking at the Vegas odds for this, Team Hendrick Motorsports plus 400. You got JGR is plus 450. Penske is 500, and RFK is 650 at those top odds. The rest are down the other way. So, looking at that, since Hendrick Motorsports is the current odds. Now, again, big wrecks happen. Cars will go out. We completely understand that. That includes Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, William Byron, Alex Bowman, and I believe that's it. I think that's it. So, yeah. And again, if you haven't watched the NASCAR documentary on Netflix, if you want to and you want to look at kind of the ins and outs of NASCAR, I would go, especially if you're going to play and put your own money into it, I would definitely look at that. So those are the top drivers with the top team that's expected to win. Now, probably doesn't happen, but we want to look at everything else too. So, Dominator. What you basically want are two drivers that are ranked or could be dominators in these races. And there's not a ton now. Denny Hamlin's he's the first one that I would look at. Ryan Blaney is the second one. Those are the two dominators. If I'm putting dominators into lineups, those would be what I'm looking at. Those would be what I'm most confident in. So we dig in a little bit more. We go through, and we are going to give you news and notes on drivers here. So let's just go down the list. We'll just go down the list the entire as far down as it makes sense. Yaley's out. McLeod is out. Those guys are out. Usually what you want to do in these kind of races, because I will play NASCAR, I will play for tournaments. I wouldn't play cash. So if you're on the website, fantasyteamadvisor.com, we do have content. We have the cheat sheet. We also have lineups there. The lineups are going to be one lineup and just a good starting point. So let's just go down the list, look at all the racers. If you like it this way, let me know. At the end, maybe we'll give you a handful of racers that we do like, we feel confident about. So basically, Denny Hamlin being 10,000, starting in 8th. So with NASCAR, you're going to get points from someone who starts at like Kyle Busch, 34. You get points for every position you make up. So with Denny Hamlin, he can only make up 8 positions. Let's say he makes up all 8 positions, and then he leads every single lap. That is how he would win that. Most likely not going to happen. So we would look at that. He's got a ton of ownership in this one. His ownership percentage that we have projected out right now is right around 13 to 18%. So let's say 15, 16%, 15.5%. It's kind of high, especially with tournaments. You want to, again, just like with NBA, MLB, you want to differentiate yourself from the pack. You want to find those lower owned guys and put them in there. So I am probably off of Denny Hamlin. It might not be the best idea, but that's where I'm going. I'm taking that 10,000 right off the bat. I'm not using it there. For instance, instead of going through every single driver, because that might not be helpful for you, we'll try it a different way this time. If you like it, let us know. So drivers I have no interest in building lineups around. Denny Hamlin's number 1. Number 2 is Chase Elliott. So if we just look at Elliott, he's in 5th spot, so I don't really want much to do. He can only go up 5 spots or 4 other spots, and then it's got to keep the lead. I'm off of him at 9,400. Joey Logano is another one that I really don't want. He's got the pole position. All he can do is go backwards if he doesn't hold the lead the entire time. I'm probably off of him. He is also at 9,200, so I'm off of there. Christopher Bell, he won the second duel on, I believe, Thursday. We look at him. He's 4th. I don't really want much there, 8,300. I'm off of him as well. Another driver that I'm off of, Tyler Reddick, pretty much same as Bell. He liked the dual race. I don't like what we've got going on. He is ranked, or he's got the 3rd position here. So again, he can only go up 2 other spots, and he's got to hold the lead the entire time. I am off of Tyler Reddick as well. Looking at other ones, Alex Bowman, I know that he is part of Hendrick Racing, and we just went over that at the beginning, but he's got 7th spot. I don't like that. Again, can only go up 6. So I am off of him. Another one I'm off of is Michael McDowell here at number 2. So basically the top 10, I don't feel confident in, because they can only go up so many spots. The they can lose way more spots than they can go up and then hold the league for the entire time. So I'm off of them. And then Austin Cindric here. I don't like him at 6. His price at 7,000. It's still a little bit up there considering where his spot is. I'm probably off of him. Another one is Nemechek here. He is 10th. So basically we're hitting the top 10. It's going to be that same we'll see how that strategy works. Now, it doesn't necessarily happen every single race. This is a super speedway. It's 2 miles, I believe. You're looking at a lot can happen. The big wreck will happen. It's like Talladega. The big wreck will happen. Top 10 in this one. And I'm not saying this is a strategy to go with every single race. These kind of tracks, this is kind of my thought process. And we'll have videos out hopefully every week for you. Usually probably be Saturday. So be on the lookout for these videos Saturday because we got to get the duels in. We've got to get the practice rounds in. We've got to get everything in until basically the last day to give you guys as much information as we possibly can. And that's where we can go from there. The other one is Hochevar here. Down, he's number 9. So basically top 10, like I said. I'm off of him. We look at him. Race log hasn't really done much. His pricing, it's in the middle. It's at 5,900 where it's been before. So fastest lap, you again more points you get, and this might be one where you want to look through, but you get points for laps led, you get points for fastest laps, you get points for moving from the back of the pack to the front of the pack. So you get a lot of points different places. That's where you need to think about it. So there's like 3 or 4 different criteria that maybe make, I would say, where they start. I'm out of the top 10 most courses. If they've been running good in practice, if they can get the fastest lead or lap, or if you think they can lead, those are all good spots to be in when building your lineup. So the players or the drivers that I feel confident in, that I want to build a lineup around, would be Ryan Blaney. Love me some Ryan Blaney, 32nd. I think he's going to be highest owned. I think you want to have exposure to him. He's in the back at 32. He offers a lot of upside. He's 9,800. I'm going to lock him in right there. I'm going to put Ryan Blaney in there. As long as he avoids the wreck. Again, anything can happen. He's projected out well. We've got him projected out at 47% ownership. He's probably going to move upwards of 50% ownership probably by the time a couple hours before the race starts. So other things can happen, but we've got him, Ryan Blaney, projected highest right now. So we're going to keep that. I'm going to keep him there. That's one of the drivers that I want to stay around the pack with. And we kind of just look at his historical data. The best race Ryan Blaney has had here came back in 2017 where he finished second. And he's had top 6s and top 5s both on Fanduel and DraftKings in this lineup. So what that means is, was he one of the top 5 drivers on Fanduel ever? Has he ever been a top 5 because you have 5 drivers on Fanduel? Yes, he has. Same thing with DraftKings. Ryan Blaney has been in the top 6, which helps us out historically in this race. So another one I really like, Kyle Busch. Never won it. Kyle Busch has gotten the best finish as second, so he is still looking for that coveted win. We look at Kyle Busch. If you take out Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch is second at 9,700, and he's in 34th right now. So you look at 34th, again, he can only go up. Could he wreck out? Yes, anyone could wreck out, though. So you've seen these are how many races they've done. They've been around the block. Kyle Busch would be another one. He's also obviously been top 5 or top 6, being a second place finish here. We look at him. He's going to have top ownership. He's going to have chalk play, but he's stacking the back is what we're looking at. So stack the drivers that are in the back of the pack because they can only move up, like we said. So I think he scores well. I think, again, you're putting him in there. It's a lot to look at. Obviously, if you put him in there, building around is going to be hard. So this feels like when it's the Daytona 500, make mini lineups. Like I said, with NBA, with baseball, with football, if you do, let's say you have a bankroll of $20, you want to spend it all, make 20 lineups. Find the lineups where you can multi-enter, and it's 20. So you might not be able to stack all of these guys, and we're going to show you if we're going to be able to stack all of them. which we're probably not going to. You got to have a couple of stars and scrubs like we do with NBA, and we'll look at that too. And these are all drivers that I have very high interest in building a lineup around. The next one is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. We come down here. He's in 35th. So again, he is 8,000. It brings us right around the average. We can look at Stenhouse Jr. And see how we feel. I feel like it's another chalk play. Again, these are it's also good to see how these drivers did in the Truck Series or the Xfinity Series or the duels or the practice rounds when you're looking through that. So there's a lot of things to look over how they've done in the past as well. So Stenhouse Jr. at 35th, we put him in there. You can see we've got 32, 34, and 35. We have all of them in here. We're looking still right around 7,500. So we're going to have to find one of those punt plays building your lineup. That's just going to happen when you have these guys here. Another one is Austin Dillon. He's 7,300. He's another chalk play because of the starting point. I don't think that's, again, he has a lot more room to go forward than he does backwards, like I've said. This is another high-owned play. So these plays would definitely, looking at this, be some of those that maybe if you play cash or tournaments, these are all going to be high-owned. We've currently got Austin Dillon. Let's see. What do I have Austin Dillon at? Projected at, about 30% ownership. So you're kind of looking at that. Again, this might be more of those boomer bust cash plays because a lot of these are going to be high-owned plays. But again, it depends if you want to play cash. Depends on what you're playing, what kind of game you're playing. Some other ones that are very, lower-owned guys would be a Josh Berry or David Reagan. Definitely looking at them. So if you look at Josh Berry, he's at 30th. He's 6,600. So let's take a look at Josh Berry here. So we have him there. Just kind of looking at his history. And I am going to see what he's done. So his best finish has been 22nd, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, his best finish has been 22nd. And again, that doesn't bode well for doesn't bode well for history if you're just kind of looking at history. But let's take a look at some more information here. So we look at Josh Berry. He is currently his best race came last year. Best finish was 22nd. I believe he's probably he's only done it once. Never been a top 6 driver or FanDuel top 5 driver. So again, that would be a punt play. Josh Berry, though, if you're looking into him, he should be one of those calm type drivers. Hopefully he stays out of the wrecks. Hopefully he comes from behind. Again, Stuart Haas Racing here. We look at this. Josh Berry is at 6,600. So if you threw him in there, you're still averaging 8,600 for your last two. He is in 30th, so that's not a big deal. David Reagan is, David Reagan's in last, I believe. 6,500. We look at David Reagan, and we look at his past. Looking at his past racing. And I guess we could look here. David Reagan is at 8 total starts. His best finish is 12th. He has not been in DK top 6 or FanDuel top 5. His best race came back in 2015 he's been racing since 2015. So looking at that again, he's 8 starts here. Best finish has been 12th. So looking at that, he's had fast laps. He's only had 2 fast laps that he's been here. So there's a little bit difference that you could look at. But again, that's just another driver that I would be looking at. Another one would be Gragson here. He's at 38th. We look at Gragson. I bring him here. 31st is his best finish. It's just another one. And it's basically based on his price. If I'm making multiple lineups, I would throw him in there for his price. He starts second to last row and carries a massive amount of talent to come from behind. So he's, again, as long as he would miss any of the big wrecks, he could be in store for a good race here. This feels like one where I don't think he's going to get too aggressive. I think he stays behind a little bit. He just stays in the mix and then makes a run late, which, again, at his price, you putting him in there, you put that mullet in there, you're averaging out 8,900. So that's just another one that I would look at. Another couple, this isn't like if I'm taking him out, this is where I'm looking at. And these are very low owned, but 5,100. Down here at Herbst, Riley Herbst here. I fully expect him to just stay calm and patient in the back, maybe make a run towards the end. Don't think he's not going to. I don't think he's going to win it, but again, you don't need everyone to win it. Obviously, not everyone in your lineup is going to win it, but you can see he's got the fantasy points here. He's led some laps, had fastest laps. Again, that was back in October. But again, his price is so far down at 5,100 that allows you 10,100. That brings you up to, you can get Danny Hamlin in there if you want. You could get Kyle Larson. You can get these guys that we look at. So you'll see, but I believe some of the guys that we're going to see, some may start early, like top 10 and stay up there. But if you're trying to build a lineup, you're trying to kind of get through a Herbst definitely allows that at 5,100. Another one would be Alfredo. You put him in there. He's not really done much. He does race from behind now. He's in 39th. That's another one. I don't know if I'm going to go all the way with him. But again, if I'm making 20-plus lineups, I might throw him in there as well just because. So, again, you take him out. You put out, let's say you put Alfredo in. You can still do 10,000. You can afford everyone there. Another one, I believe we are kind of looking at Hemrick here. He's at the bottom as well, 5,300. Take Alfredo out. You put Hemrick in there. Now we can't afford Denny Hamlin, but we can afford Kyle Larson and down. So it's the way you build your lineups. If you feel like Blaney, Busch, Stenhouse, and Dillon all are in good spot because 32, 33, 34, 35, and then those are kind of the ones that I'm looking at, and then finding the Herbst. So let's say we do Herbst. We do Herbst in there, and then we can afford anyone. Do you think Denny Hamlin's going to have a good race here? We just look at Denny Hamlin's. We look at him at the top. You see, he's won it before. He's been in the top 5, top 6. He's had 8 fastest laps. He's led 79 laps. You can see Keselowski has led 115 laps. You can see Jimmy Johnson's led 94. Jimmy Johnson in here. There are just certain players. Now, Jimmy Johnson forgot he was even racing. He did qualify. It took him the last spot to qualify at the duel. He raced his way into this field. I don't like this. Again, you can see his races, and you look at this. He only raced 4 times last year. The last time he raced in a big NASCAR event for Cup Series was May 29th. He raced 4 total times. Last year, you see, he did pretty good. Finished 31, but he did have 5 fastest laps and had 20 fantasy points at 7,700. They've priced him back to 7,700. I'm probably off of Jimmy Johnson. Some people might want it for nostalgia. That's not me. The initial thoughts of the NASCAR building, lineups, building, stuff like that. Stack from the back. So that's what we tried to do here. Again, I may go with Larson there. So that's kind of a lineup. It's still 600 on the table. This is a good way to do it. But looking at this, stack from the back again. Focus on upside drivers. Like I said, you want those dominating drivers. You got to get some lower owned players in your lineup. So again, like a Kyle Busch, a Ryan Blaney, they're going to have very high ownership, but you got to find those Herbst, Dillon, Stenhouse. You got to find some of those. And with NASCAR, you can do all the research in the world. You can read about the weather, you could read about the track, you could read about the car itself, the make, the model, the driver, the history. But if they don't avoid that big wreck, it's over. And a lot can happen. I believe on DraftKings, when you're playing and you see it, if they've wrecked, the car's upside down, little emblem that they put on there. So you've got to avoid the big crash. You've got to avoid other crashes as well. Blow a motor, blow a tire, blow an engine, you're out. So a lot of things have to go well. But again, you can only do so much research. And again, like 50% research, 50% luck. That basically DFS with NBA is a little bit different. MLB is a little bit different. NASCAR, you have a little bit more. You got to have more luck in it. There's going to be a lot of chalky plays this week in the back, just the way it ran. And that's okay. So those are my some of these the drivers that are in the back of the pack are on like a second car. So whether blew an engine or something in practice in qualifying, so they're on a second car. Whether or not that's going to have any factor, we can kind of see. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. Just a thought process. If you guys liked this NASCAR content, let me know. If you didn't, that's fine. We won't do it. We'll still have it on the website. So like I've said in the past for other sports, if we don't have a video out so normally I'm going to just assume I'm going to have the NASCAR videos out on Saturdays. So might put it out Saturday morning, might put it out Saturday night to give it time for Sunday, or if we've got time with rain delays, it'll come out Monday. So be on the lookout for Saturdays. Let's say if you don't see a NASCAR video from us by Saturday at midnight your time, there's probably not a video. But we will have the content. Well, this race schedule's there. The Bacon Station with all the research that you need is there. The cheat sheet is there as well. And we're going to continue to rock and roll. If you kind of like the way this video went, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, get those below. If you want to talk about other things, in the description of this video would be our link to Discord. If you guys have an idea of what you would kind of like to look at for articles, I will maybe put an article out as well. Haven't done that in the past, but getting an itch and getting kind of interest in it as well. So we will continue with NASCAR all year. We will continue with NBA. Baseball is back. I believe a week from yesterday is the first spring training games, if I recall. Let me see. So we'll have spring training for about a month or so. Let me see. Spring training starts. Yeah. Let's go. Spring training. Pitchers and catchers reported on Thursday. Watching the Yankees, they reported early. Full squads report on Tuesday. And then the first game starts on Saturday. So we're not going to have MLB content for spring training. We are going to have content for, if you guys do baseball drafts, I'm going to do some rankings. I'm going to look at those rankings, and we'll go from there. So if that's something you're interested in, stay tuned. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Obviously, basketball is back on Thursday, so we'll continue that. We will be back. So, big news. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com is here to stay. If you want a yearly pass, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, FTA Plus. You can click on the yearly pass, normally $199 if you use the promo code MLBVIP. Get it for $75, and that's it. Get a full year. That includes the full NASCAR season. If you did it today, that would include the full NASCAR season. That would include the entire MLB season for 2024. The rest of this NBA season and in the first half of next season all the way to the All-Star break, just like this year. The entire NFL season, including playoffs and PGA as well. So if you've got interest, check that out. I will be working on an article today for NASCAR. So depends on when you watch this video. The article may already be out. I do not know yet. So we'll figure that out. We'll get that done. So good luck with the Daytona 500 if you're building lineups. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, get those down below. And I will see you next time. Maybe PGA. We do PGA. I don't know. Maybe we'll put a video out for PGA. But we will be back Thursday for another NBA content video. And we'll be in the Discord channel till then. So good luck, and as always, let's bring home some bacon. Peace!